Stress. What is stress? So many times we talk about being stressed out, but when I ask people what they really mean by it, it's a difficult thing to explain because when it comes to stress, it's not something tangible. We can't just put it on a table and point toward it and talk about it, but we all know it exists. If you are a human being, you've certainly experienced stress in your life. Stress is inevitable. It's experienced differently by different people. The old saying, one man's garbage is another man's treasure, is very true. It's impacted by perception. And largely, it's a perception of inadequacy or not having the resources to prevail. When we have that mindset, whether it's true or not, that's when we start to experience stress. So it's important that we revisit how we view things. What colors our judgment? Are we optimistic or pessimistic when things are thrown our way? These are decisions that we make. They're not genetically coded. It's not necessarily our DNA, but these are choices, and these choices have a direct and dramatic impact on how we respond to stress. You know, there is stress, but what might be more important than stress is stress response. We can't control the things that happen to us. Even on our best days, if you're going through a good groove in your life, a good period of time, inevitably, we're all apt to experience some news that we didn't want or didn't see coming. It might come from a macro level, maybe something national or state level or local level, or it might be something personal and in our life, a phone call of some bad news of a relative or something that we didn't quite see coming. But the point is that it's not really the stressor that gets us, but how we respond to stress. We can't always control the things that come our way, but how we act, react, and respond, we can control, and that plays a big part in our overall wellness and success. It's important that you look at stress in terms of good and bad stress, and I say that because we don't have a problem understanding when bad things are going on. It kind of makes sense that we're stressed out. If we're going through problems in our life with health or financial difficulties or problems at the workplace, that makes sense that you would feel stress. But one thing that I've experienced as a clinician is that a lot of times when things are going well in life, people still experience stress. In fact, in the psychology literature, they call that eustress. And what eustress is the stress associated with good things in our life that might include a job promotion, a new relationship, planning for a wedding, or the holidays. These are good things, but they still often tax us with respect to our mental wellness and toughness. So it is important that you realize that even good things in life can be stressful. The last thing I want to say about stress is while it is easy for us to go and get a prescription medication or use drugs recreationally to help moderate or temper the stress in our life, I'm going to strongly discourage that. I think your best bet when it comes to stress is learning healthy and effective means to cope with stress. And that includes framing situations objectively in a positive way, in an optimistic way, seeking help and resources whenever possible, and even using things like deep breathing and imagery and self-talk strategies that can really help with kind of putting that stress in a box that's manageable, something you can act upon and really succeed and work through. In worst case scenarios, you might even want to solicit some professional help. But I think the answer that seems to be most readily used these days is to kind of turn to something. And it's important to note that whenever you're using, again, whether it's a prescription drug or recreation drug, there's a whole host of side effects and negative consequences that can come about that actually compound your stress rather than help you work through it.